Football at 4, powered by the Inside the Birds podcast, brought to you by the Fanatic Sportsbook at Ocean Casino Resort in Atlantic City. We'll be there on Monday. Today we're live at the Roost in Egg Harbor Township. Yes, a lot of people inside hanging out and having a nice cold one, watching the Ryder Cup. That's how everybody got their day started. We started on the golf course here. Now we're at football at 4 as the Eagles are, I believe, Andrew, their flight is to Tampa in 15 minutes. They are leaving for Tampa early this year to try to do something a little different. As Andrew DiCecco from the Inside the Birds podcast joins us for a Football at 4 Friday edition. Welcome back, Andrew. What's up, my man?
Hey, Mike. How are you?
All good, and obviously you've seen this team practicing all this week, getting ready for this Tampa Bay game. And the big thing has been the loss of Nolan Smith. So you have any feel on how they are going to kind of compensate for him not being out on the field, who replaces those snaps, and how they kind of try to, replace him?
Well, Azeez Ojulari would make the most sense from a pass rushing standpoint. They have Patrick Johnson and Obo Okoronkwo there as well, who Azeez Ojulari and Obo have played a lot of snaps in the NFL before. So I think it would behoove the Eagles to stockpile some depth there, given the heat and the conditions that they're going to be up against. So last week they sat Patrick Johnson. He wasn't active despite him being a special team stalwart. So it wouldn't surprise me to see Ojulari and potentially Okoronkwo active for the first time this season, just to give them more depth in the rotation.
You know, how big of I know losing Smith, big deal. He's probably their best pass rusher. But how important is he to what Vic Fangio likes to make his defense really work?
I mean, he's really important. And, I'm not one to box score watch, and I know for some who may, you see the lack of stats, the lack of production there in that area, and that maybe colors your perception. But make no mistake about it, Nolan Smith is a tenacious, physical run defender. He sets the edge, and he just continues to grow and evolve in his role and become more comfortable. And I've seen refinement in his game as a pass rusher. Now that's a big loss, especially when he was sort of fronting that unit. And I believe that he's a player, the more he plays, the better he gets. And you would have seen more production over the next, few games. But unfortunately for him, he's going to be sidelined for a while. And it's going to be up to the others to step up. But this is why the Eagles have stockpiled depth there. And you look at it and you say they have 7 edge rushers. Well, not that you can forecast injuries, but they kept players who they believe in. And eventually your time's going to come. And Nick Sirianni always talks about how everyone's role isn't the same, but it's vitally important to the success of the football team. And you have to be ready when your number's called.
Andrew DiCecco is with us on a Friday edition of Football at 4. Let's look at the Eagles' offense real quick because, the last time they've played Tampa, and many times they've played Tampa, it seems that they're shorthanded. A.J. Brown missed last year's game. Devontae Smith last year's game. Lane Johnson missed last year's game. A.J. Brown missed the wild card game. So they have not had A.J. in a couple of these games. So do we anticipate A.J. Brown playing in the game being a factor in this game after we finally saw them get him going in the back end of last week's game?
Well, yeah, he's going to play, and I think he's going to be the X factor of this game because I do envision the Eagles becoming a little bit more aggressive and trying to open things up, using the pass to set up the run, which is a little bit different. But A.J. Brown has a good matchup, whether he's going up against Zion McCollum, who, of course, is the twin brother of former Eagles safety Tristan McCollum, or on the other side, Jamel Dean. I believe that he's going to be someone that they're going to call upon early in this one. And you saw what he was able to do against the Rams. You get him the ball, even on a short completion, and he can impose his will on defenders. And that sort of reinvigorates, I would say, and that kind of passion and toughness radiates throughout the whole offense and throughout the whole sideline, really. So he can get them going with a big play early.
Andrew, what are you seeing in the run game with Barkley? Is this, the teams are just defending them differently than they did a year ago? Is it something with the offensive line up front? Is this the week they get that going?
Well, I mean, the offensive line hasn't necessarily played to their normal standard. I think that's fair to say, but they're still playing at an acceptable level, above average level, I would say. Kevin Patullo spoke about, trying to do different things to create space for Saquon Barkley. I think a big part of that would be maybe moving away from the heavy dose of 12 personnel and using some 11 personnel to spread teams out and, create more space, but also have some more optionality there. That's something that I think is fair to say. And then there was points in that Rams game later where you have to wonder if maybe Saquon was pressing a little bit, wasn't necessarily hitting the hole with the same authority that he always does, trying to look like he might have been trying to hit a home run and make a big play there. So I think it's just they're going to have to make a concerted effort. It's not any one area that you can pinpoint. It's just going to take a collective to get this thing rolling.
Andrew, when you look at the matchup here, they're 3-0, Philadelphia's 3-0. Both teams have kind of scratched and clawed their ways to wins here, right? I mean, we talked earlier with someone from Tampa who covers the Buccaneers, and he said, look, they think they match up well with Philadelphia. When you look at this matchup for the Eagles, where's there something that concerns you about this team? Because we know that Todd Bowles has been very good against the Eagles, but the flip side of that is the Eagles generally haven't been at full strength here. So what is something you're looking at in this game with 2 3-0 teams?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's the unscattered looks that you have to account for. And Todd Bowles is going to be super aggressive. He's going to throw different things at you, and that's where pass protection becomes paramount. If you want to get your offense off the ground, they have to be better at blocking that up, and that includes Saquon Barkley and pass protection. So that's the one area that I think you look at outside of the humid conditions that sometimes can be the equalizer. The Eagles are, of course, going out there a day early, and we'll see if that helps them at all. But I think you factor in the conditions and the attack style defense that Todd Bowles likes to deploy, and he's had the Eagles number. That's been a house of horrors for the team. Those are the two elements I think that could be a factor.
All right, real quick, Adoree Jackson, I just got the injured list sent to me here. We are on location today, out on location, so I just got the injury list sent to me. Adoree Jackson, limited.
Yeah,
he's
doubtful. Doubtful. Yeah, he's doubtful for the game, yeah.
Doubtful for the game. Is this, I guess, no Bennett either? Is Kelee Ringo the guy?
Well, he would be the guy. He's next up. Mac McWilliams is more of a nickel corner. He's cross-trained outside, but he's really a nickel corner by trade. And Kelee Ringo, he's next man up. I had a chance to talk to him. I wrote a story about Kelee Ringo on InsideTheBirds.com. Really confident. It never really wavered. He was able to see the game from a different perspective. Adoree Jackson today spoke about how he's noticed Keelee's attention to detail, asking questions, and he's a confident player. Now it's just about going out there and executing, because Baker Mayfield will be aware of where Kelee Ringo is on the field at all times. Should Adoree Jackson not be in the lineup, but obviously if he's listed as doubtful, it doesn't seem all that likely. It seemed like it could be a day of type of thing with Jackson based on what he said and testing out the groin and seeing how his body responded from doing work the previous day. But it seems like it's going to be Kelee Ringo who's in line to start.
Okay, and they did activate Perry Nickerson, and Eli Ricks is on the practice squad. So obviously they were anticipating this being a possibility. He's Andrew DiCecco,
Yep.
Football at 4 from the Inside the Birds podcast. It is the Eagles and the Buccaneers, Week 4 again in steamy Tampa. Our Tampa correspondent tells us expect temperatures to hit 105 on the field on Sunday. You can listen to the game right here on 97.3 ESPN. Andrew, thanks, buddy.
Thanks, man.